There you go. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So, welcome back to the Deep Frame Podcast. I'm your host, as you know, Leo. It is Saturday, May 16, 2026. And if you are looking for the truth in the world state sponsored spin, um, you have come to the right place, right? Today, we are looking at a landscape that would make our founding fathers weep, but it should also make every freedom loving American stand up and cheer because the lines are finally being drawn. We have the entitled labor class paralyzing the heart of New York. We have a president who understands that peace through strength isn't a slogan, it's a lifestyle. And we have a tech industry that is finally revealing the AI tax they've been hiding from you for years. I've got the videos, I got the leaks manifest from Cupertino and Kyoto, and I've got the intelligence reports that the mainstream media is too afraid to touch on. Put your coffee down, lock the doors, and let's get into the deep frame. Sorry, guys, my throat's bad today. I caught a bad cold walking in the rain, so but let's get into it. Let's start with the absolute chaos in New York. If you're a regular listener, you know that I have no love for the bureaucratic nightmare that is the MTA. But today, we're seeing something even more insidious: the Long Island Railroad. The busiest commuter line in North America is officially dark. 300,000 hardworking Americans are stranded today. Why? Because five unions decided that being the highest paid railroad workers in the history of this country wasn't enough. I want you to listen to what Jano Lieber, the MTA chair, said this morning. Now, Lieber is a creature of the New York establishment, but even he has had enough. He said, and I quote, "Our last offer literally gave them everything they said they wanted in terms of pay. Everything." But the unions walked. They rejected binding arbitration. They walked because they want to protect out sorry, excuse me, outrageous work rules that let them pile up taxpayer funded overtime while you're stuck in a 3 hour traffic jam on the Long Island Expressway. They are holding the economy of the greatest city on earth hostage for a 5% raise that would force a fair hike on every single mother and small business owner in the suburbs. This is the anti capitalist rot. Folks, this is what happens when you let collective bargaining turn into collective extortion. The governor, Kathy Hochul, is pleading with them to go back to the table, but the union bosses are calling this a management provoked strike. Management provoked them by giving them everything they asked for. Give me a break. It's time we look at the Railway Labor Act and start firing people who refuse to do the jobs we pay them for. Freedom isn't free, and it certainly shouldn't be subsidized by the people who are currently being locked out of their own commute. Now, let's get into this video.
Today, and probably for the next couple of days, possibly, we have Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate live in Ronkonkoma this morning, one of the locations where workers are picketing right behind you. Hey there, Phil.
Hey, Perry, Michelle, good morning. And some of those workers are already on the picket line raising their voices. The clock struck a minute past midnight, and these LIRR workers were unable to reach a deal with the MTA, the largest commuter rail in the nation, now crippled, left at a standstill. 3,500 workers, some of them right behind me. They are standing together in chorus with their signs held high as they want their voices to be heard. They want to everyone to know that they want better pay. Their unions demanding wage increases of 14.5% over 4 years. MTA officials offering slightly smaller increases and a lump sum payment in the contract's 4th year. But it came down to what the increase in the final year would be. The unions are adamant that wages must keep up with today's general prices and inflation.
Late in the 11th hour,
All right, so hear this now, guys.
the railroad decided to throw healthcare contributions for new employees, which was never discussed in bargaining. We're far apart at this point, and we feel it's unnecessary.
Obviously, this is not the result we were looking for. Like Governor Hochul said, everybody loses in a strike. The MTA, the striking workers who lose their wages, and most of all, the riders who rely on this railroad every day. But I and my MTA board have been clear that we cannot responsibly make a deal that implodes the MTA's budget.
And this is going to have major impacts on a whole lot of people. Just to put a number on that, about 300,000 riders use the LIRR each and every day. They'll be left to figure out how exactly will they get around. Will it be carpooling, or even if they'll have to fork out more money just to get even to work on Monday? Again, these workers, they are letting their voices be heard this morning. Governor Hochul has urged both sides to get back to the bargaining table and to make a deal. We're in Ronkonkoma this morning. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Phil, thank you. Railroad work.
Okay. Now, let's pivot to the world stage. I want to pull up a video that is going to be the center of my reaction commentary today. This is the Commander-in-Chief. Oh, damn, what did I do? Okay, back to this. No, get out of here. Okay, let me get this out the way. Sorry guys, my computer's acting up today. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up this video right now. Wait, it was... There you go. So this is the Commander-in-Chief aboard Air Force One returning from China. Do you see that? That is a man who hasn't slept in 48 hours because he's been staring down President Xi in Beijing, and he still has the clarity to call out the lunatics in Tehran. The reporter asked him about the latest peace proposal from Iran, and what does he say? If I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away. That is the capitalist way. If the opening bid is an insult to American sovereignty, you don't stay at the table. You walk. He called their proposal garbage, and he's right. The Iranians want guarantees against future strikes. They want the Strait of Hormuz recognized as their personal lake, and they want to keep their enriched uranium. Trump's response, he agreed to a ceasefire as a favor to Pakistan, a favor he's playing 4D chess while the regime in Tehran is playing with matches. He's kept the naval blockade in place, which has essentially wiped out their economy and their ability to move oil. He's telling them, we've wiped out your armed forces. We might have to do some cleanup work then when this month is over. But for now, you sit there and you starve until you give up the nukes. This is what a real Republican foreign policy looks like. No more leading from behind. No more pallets of cash in the middle of the night. Just raw, unadulterated American leverage. The media is calling his rhetoric unstable. But look at the results. The Houthi front is stalling, and the Iranian regime is more paranoid and fractured than it's been since 1979. Let's talk about your wallet, because while you're cheering for the blockade, the giants are finding new ways to reach out into your pockets. We've confirmed that Nintendo is raising the price of the Switch 2 to $500 on September 1st. Think about that. A console that launched at $450 is going up in price a year later. Why? Because the market conditions are shifting. That's corporate speak for artificial intelligence is eating all the chips, and you have to pay for it. The global race for AI supremacy, right? Global race for AI supremacy. Supremacy. We're gonna check it out right now. So even here it says, see all this information, but we're not gonna read through that. So like I said, AI supremacy is sucking up every scrap of memory and storage on the internet, right? We're gonna use an image while we're at it, or a video, so you guys can at least have an idea of what exactly I'm talking about, right? We could watch this video, matter of fact.
China and the U.S. have long been competitors when it comes to their militaries and economies. You heard that from that former official. Artificial intelligence is now a major focus for both countries. Tonight, we take a look at the race to develop the advanced technology.
AI is one of the best tools that the human being ever invented. But on the other hand, there's so much uncertainty surround that. We had to be very careful.
For years, the U.S. outpaced the world in artificial intelligence. But according to Stanford University's most recent AI index released in April, China has nearly erased the U.S. lead.
That's
a lot of the talk lately has been about the competition when it comes to technology, artificial intelligence. Does the U.S. really have a lead in AI, and how is this competition, including espionage, shaping up?
The military commander of the Pacific Command has said that he's very steeped in AI for the military's use. He said the U.S. has a tenuous lead on China, and we need to maintain it if we're going to deter China from conducting some type of aggressive action.
My view is...
Okay, so we're going to stop it right there, right? So back to what I was talking about. So about the AI sucking up every scrap of memory and storage on the planet, right? Your kid's gaming console is now competing for silicon with massive data centers. And thanks to the current tariff environment, which by the way, I support for the sake of our own manufacturing independence, the cost of importing these parts from Asia is rising. But here's the signal. Apple is about to drop a catastrophic series of releases we've seen, the leaked iOS 26 manifest. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is coming this fall with a 2nm chip. That is a miracle of materials engineering. But they're also prepping an Apple foldable for September. How are they doing it? You ask. They are moving to panel level packaging. This is a deep dive, folks. Applied Materials just bought a company called Next for $120 million to dominate this specific technology. They are moving away from small wafers to massive panels so they can build the larger body AI accelerators that will run the next generation of our economy. That is capitalism at its finest, innovation driven by intense demand. But it also means the era of cheap, disposable tech is over. You are paying the AI tax and you better get used to it. Now, let's keep watching this, folks.
The president is moving in a direction of what I would call, in my own language, managed strategic competition with China. Can you carve out some space over here for things that your interests are sufficiently in common that you have to cooperate?
U.S., of course, is the pioneer in the AI development, but China is a latecomer, but also doing quite well. And so in that sense, I think that it's so important that we set aside our differences and think about the even bigger benefit for the whole human beings and the mankind in general.
Henry Wang is the founder and president of the Center for China and Globalization, a non-governmental think tank in Beijing.
We're all living on this planet. You know, we have to conquer Mars together. How we can use AI together is really important.
The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy recently accused China and other foreign entities of AI technology theft. How big a deal is that when it comes to China?
Well, it is a very big deal. I want to make sure we continue to lead, and I want to make sure we continue to get the world's best talent. But I am concerned about espionage. It's a real issue, and we need to make sure that our sensitive technology is not stolen. There have been reports of it being stolen, and we're going to work in a bipartisan commitment way to make sure that does not happen.
Sir.
Intelligence officials say the Chinese government spies on nearly every aspect of U.S. life, including businesses, academics, lawmakers, and public opinion.
The FBI has over 2,000 active investigations that trace back to the government of China.
That shocked me then.
That's crazy.
Has that number increased?
Well, the number's certainly in that range. I would think it probably has increased, but I can't quote you the actual number off. It certainly hasn't gone down. I can assure you that.
Case numbers are one thing. Having cases open is one thing. Disruptions are what I'm focused on.
What planet is that?
When China sent its spy balloon across the U.S.
All right, enough of this nonsense. We've seen this information, but I like what the points they actually touched on. It was those are very important points that you all should look into. Okay, I think it was here, if I'm not wrong. Video, so we're gonna go to this one. And we're gonna, okay, so we cannot have a conversation about freedom without talking about accountability and, wait, I'm sorry guys, it says notification, yeah, whatever, okay. So we cannot have a conversation about freedom without talking about accountability. And right now, the swamp is deeper than ever. We've just got word that a U.S. Army intelligence officer, someone who took an oath to this country, has been arrested for inside trading. He used his knowledge of the capture of Nicolás Maduro to bet on the prediction market, Polymarket, bagging $400,000. This is the rot in our institutions. While our soldiers are in the Gulf, while our commuters are stranded, we have people in uniforms treating national security like a craps table. And he's not alone. We're looking at $7 billion in oil bets that were perfectly timed right before the strikes on Iran. The DOJ and the CFTC are finally waking up, but they're late. We need a full audit of every federal employee's digital wallet. If you are serving the state, you don't get to bet against or for the chaos you're helping to manage. Freedom requires virtue, and right now the virtue in DC is in short supply. Finally, a bit of perspective. In 27 days, the world descends on North America for the 2026 World Cup. 48 teams, Mexico, Canada, and the US hosting together. Think about the irony. We have a regional war in the Middle East. We have strikes in New York. We have a tech sector in a state of upheaval, and yet the world is coming here. They're coming here because despite everything, the American system, the capitalist, freedom-loving system, is still the only one that works. Lionel Messi and Argentina are coming to defend their own crown on our soil. Host cities like Philadelphia and East Rutherford are prepping for millions of fans. But I'm telling you now, the security footprint for this event will be unlike anything we've ever seen. With the Iran conflict on life support, as the president says, the threat level is real. We have to stay vigilant. We have to support the blockade. We have to tell the unions that the party is over. And we have to keep our eyes on the deep frame. That's it for today. If you want the links to the Air Force One video or the Cupertino leaks manifest, they are in the description. Don't let the headlines distract you from the trend lines. Stay free, stay sovereign, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.